Welcome, everyone, and thank you so much for tuning in to Stony and Jamar. And happy Wednesday to you all. How are you doing today, Jamar?
Good morning. I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you so much for asking. It
Yep.
is Wednesday. It is beautiful. It's a little warmer than yesterday,
Yeah, a little bit. Just a little.
just a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, 43 days of lockdown, and we're almost maybe to the very end today. What do you think?
Uh Honestly, the Democrats folded. So it's looking like, yeah, they folded. So it's looking like it's coming to an end. Um all that holding out, if you were gonna fold, you should have just went ahead and folded from the beginning then.
Well, what Kenny Rogers say? You gotta know when to hold, know when to
Yeah.
fold 'em, know when to walk away, know when
Yeah.
to run. Well, I'm gonna say this. Um, I wouldn't say they folded. I'll say that they negotiated so that the American people will walk away with something. So I
Mm.
would say this is my interpretation of it from my literature and what I've read, because I just don't go by what people post on videos.
Mhm.
I go and I sit and I read. And what I read was, if you look at it in retrospect, this way. So when they first started the shutdown, which was October the 1st, when the Democrats' proposal that would have funded the program failed in the Senate, which was at the 11th hour, and that created the shutdown. So the Democratic caucus would have liked for the Obamacare to be extended. They would have liked for other government programs to be funded. And when the Republican Party refused to do that on October the 1st, that created a stalemate. So the Republican Party was like, we're not interested in talking to you. It's our way or the highway. So you already had three Democratic senators or Senate personnel that went with the original bill of the Republican Party. There were five during this 43 days, within this 43 days, around the 40th day, that written a proposal that said, hey, we will contend and go with what you want if you give us this, if you give us an extension on the Obamacare subsidies for all Americans who qualify, the SNAP benefits, we would like for that to be in place, and other government programs that they were talking about. Full back pay for federal employees that were furloughed and laid off. So who folded? Was the Republican Party. They agreed to what the other five proposed to them in order to get things moving and shaking. And then today, as of Wednesday, when they swear in Adelita Grajava, which is the Democratic Senate senator for Arizona, she will be sworn in today. So they will meet and talk about those things that the Democratic Party is suggesting that will at least make it okay to get things started and moving for the American people. It
Mm.
wasn't the Republican Party who was saying, "Hey, okay, we'll do this extension for the Obamacare for this amount of days if you do this." They're basically saying, "No, we're not. We don't want to give the American people anything. We want to take that 8 million they even had in this budget when they were meeting in October the 1st. The Republicans had in their budget to fund and provide a $8 million salary to Republican senators.
Okay.
So you're going to take, so I'm spinning off because I get a little angry when I start talking about all this stuff. I don't mean to get so emotional about it, but it wasn't really the Democrats that folded. They were able to push the envelope to get the Republicans to give them an okay.
So what? So exactly what? How long is this extension for?
That's the part. The Democrats wanted a year, and I see why they wanted a year, but the subsidies, in all truth, will end January the 2026. So it's not that long. So they really didn't get that much of
Mm,
what they wanted.
right.
Right. To be
Exactly.
honest, right. They didn't get what they really wanted. The only good thing that I could see that came out of it was the back pay for
Right.
the federal employees who were furloughed. I did see that, and I thought that was pretty cool.
Right. So it's like if the extension is only till January, they really lost their bargaining chip. They
It's not
they
saying.
show they
Hold on.
showed that.
It's not saying that we're live. Hold on. I don't know what happened, but we had to start all over again. Greetings, everyone. Welcome to Stony and Jamar. We've been talking this whole time and we weren't live. Talking about Mercury in retrograde. This is the things that happens. Okay, 43 days of lockdown. I'm sorry, I keep saying lockdown. 43 days of shutdown. Do you think that we are near the end?
We may be.
We
We
may
may.
be.
Well, I mean, if well, we're going to be right now. We're at the end of it, right? They've made a deal at least until January, but another shutdown can another shutdown can occur right after January because the same things that the Democrats were holding out for, they still going to be there in January. I don't see the Republicans signing off on the subsidies for the
Mhm.
Obamacare because they want to get rid of Obamacare altogether. So that'll still be an issue. So yeah, it's temporary.
Right. It is a temporary fix. A lot of people say that the Democratic Party folded. I say that they pushed the envelope to negotiate to be able to get something to get the ball rolling for the American people.
Hmm.
That's what I say. So in the proposal, they did get the back pay for the furloughed workers, which is I think was an excellent um, job. And then they did get a short extension for the subsidies for the Obamacare. The big ugly bill had, I don't know if you've seen some of it, but it started back in the early part of the year. The big beautiful bill, I'm sorry. The
Hmm.
big beautiful bill, which is really the big ugly bill, had made a lot of changes to federal funding for hospitals, Medicaid, Medicare, and it has affected a lot of people, like in our state of Georgia, and in a lot of other southern red states, not just the blue states. It's affected them tremendously. And with the Obamacare, I really think that insurance is much needed. If they're going to do away with Obamacare, then they need to have a proposal to be able to offer free health care for all Americans, regardless.
I believe in free healthcare. I do believe it. I definitely believe in free healthcare. I doubt with this administration we'll see free healthcare. If you remember, Donald Trump had an idea for a plan. So he's been wanting to get rid of Obamacare since his first term. and he's never came up with an alternative plan yet. And I don't see it happening because it's not a priority of his. He only wants to do it out of being vindictive. He just wants to destroy that man's legacy. So he doesn't really care about coming up with a health care plan. But I do believe in all Americans should have free health care.
I believe if they don't do something with the Obamacare to at least tweak it a little bit and, however, keep it intact for the American people, it's going to create a very big crisis in the medical industry and how people are able to receive treatment and how people are going to be able to take care of their health issues. Because with the Obamacare, some people are just able right now to pay $10 copay, which is affordable. You can, even if you don't have $10, it's easier to ask somebody for $10 versus asking someone for $100 to go to the doctor. So
Absolutely.
to get a physician, and with the Obamacare, what I've noticed, because I used to be an agent to sell the affordable insurance, and with the insurance, when the based off of your income bracket, um, the person gets a tax break. So they may pay $10 for a copay or no copay, depending on what insurance they have chosen. And their medication may cost anywhere between as low as 50 cents to $3. And some pharmacies, such as CVS and Walmart, are very big participants in the Obamacare and working with those insurance companies who offer the subsidies to
Mhm.
give those medications for people at a low cost. Even though they're off brand generics, there still are effective drugs, but they work with those pharmaceutical companies to be able to offer the medication. I think Obamacare is a great um, invention that was brought to the floor many years ago. Does it need tweaking? It probably does. Does it need to be taken away? No, it does not. Because I feel that if they take away Obamacare, so many children who parents who cannot afford Medicaid because their income brackets are too high, with the Obamacare, it doesn't matter how much money you make. There is a tax subsidy that you get based off of your last year tax return, that you're able to receive a reduction to be able to where it's affordable for you.
Yes, I mean I totally agree with affordable health care. I mean I won't argue that at all. Going back to the shutdown itself and it being over with, like I said, at the end, it's kind of like the Democrats folded. And I'm saying that just because it's November and January will be here around, January is right around the corner. So if you held out all of this time, 40 something days
Mhm.
over the subsidies, then why not keep fighting? The things that you signed on for, the back pay, the SNAP benefits are protected for, I think, till September to 2026. I think that was a given, right? I think that we could all agree that the workers that were furloughed should have gotten back pay. So it seems as if you held out that long for nothing.
Maybe they were listening to Kenny Rogers a little bit too long.
Yeah, maybe.
And so you got to know when to hold, know when to fold them, know when
I
to
think
walk
I think it
away.
was pressure. I think it was just pressure from the holiday season, airlines, right? I think it was just the pressure, and they just folded.
Well, I listened to, I read and I listened to podcasts where the House leader, Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries, he spoke. And I also listened to some of the other Democratic Party um, people speak as well. And their main concern was healthcare and aviation and back pay. And those are, the three things. And as they were saying, that they feel that President Donald Trump, does not care about the American people. He only cared about making billionaires um, higher in stature and making sure that their tax brackets are okay, and that he's more concerned about what he can get out of this. And I kind of agree with that at some point because um, it's like everything that he's promised. And let's talk about the $2,000 that he is promising for to put in our pockets for our health care based off the tariff dividends. That is more promises to the American people. He has. I don't believe anything that he say. I don't. I even if he portrayed to be a kind person at this moment. I saw a video of him purchasing groceries for a family in a part of the U.S. To me, that was not sincere because in that case, you should be buying. You have enough money to buy everybody groceries. So it should be a free day of groceries for everybody.
Yeah.
I everybody should go to the store and it should be Trump is gonna pay. Let that give us some retribution for the inconvenience, the inconsistency, and the lies that you have promised the American people. Because when you campaign, you promised that groceries would be lower, you promised better health care, you made you promised better job pay and better jobs. But everything was the opposite when you came in. People
Mhm.
lost their jobs. Um, you know, the tariffs. I don't know if he understood the terminology of it, but we the people are paying the tariff. And I was reading where the $2,000 that he's promising, well, he said they should. He didn't say that he was. He
Right.
said that the Republican Party should send you $2,000 to your health care as a health care incentive. Um, I feel that with all of that being said, we are being used as a pawn so that he can demolish the democracy and demolish the American tradition, what our forefathers have built. Am I wrong
Mm.
for thinking that?
No, but no, you're not at all. And it's not even a but behind that. No, you're absolutely correct. Um, with that being said, that's why it's so important that Democrats stand their ground. Like you have to fight back. You have been getting bullied since January. Since he came into office, they are bullying the Democratic Party. So at some point, um, Democrats need to understand that there are going to be pains and suffering in order to stop exactly what you just said. So if we all see that everything he campaigned for was a lie, we all know that he's heading towards a dictatorship, and none of us want that. And the only thing standing in his way is the Democratic Party. Then you're going to have to understand it's going to be some suffering in order to stop that from happening. And the Democrats have to be able to stand their ground. So if you shut the government down because of health care, because of the subsidies, then stand your ground. Stay there.
Yeah.
Don't fold. Don't fold for a 2 month review, because that's basically what it is. Only for you to go back in 2 months and the Republicans to say, yeah, we're still not going to sign off on that subsidy.
Well, like you said, that this is temporary and that to be expected, that it shall happen again, that we will be in a shutdown and at a standstill. So that will be the opportunity for the Democratic caucus to stand up for themselves and for the American people for what they truly want for us. And as we move into the November 2026 election, um, we're gonna see a lot of people who voted in this midterm special election that we just had. We're gonna see a lot of that in a rinse, wash, and repeat in November of 2026 because of a lot of the people who voted in this special election for in New York and Georgia and across America. They were also the same people that voted MAGA in 2020. what was that, last year, 2024 election? Is
Right.
that correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So these were the same people, because you know that President Trump appealed hugely to the Latino community. He appealed to the Black community, and he sold everyone this big persona that he was going to make these changes. And those people realized that they had been duped. And so when these special elections came over, they had a blue wave that came through just last week. Now we're up again in November. So this gives the Republican Party a chance to act right or put on their pretend a little bit stronger so that
Mhm.
they can win in November, because we're getting closer and closer to 28 at when we're at 26. So they need to hold power. So I expect more shenanigans and more promises to the American people so that they can get people to say, oh, well, they're going to do this. It's going to take time. Let me just hang in there, so that they can hold the majority and continue to flip the power and make things go the way that they want to. But that changes. Some of that changes today, as we know, after September the 23rd of this year, which has been 7 weeks and 50 days. Arizona elected Adelita Grajava will be sworn in at 4 o'clock today by Speaker Johnson.
Right. Was supposed to been happen, but okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Now this young lady, she is succeeding her father, who was once in that seat, and her father died, and she ran and she won fair and square.
Okay.
So she's continuing the legacy, but Speaker Johnson is not, or has not been trying to swear her in during the time of the shutdown. Her attorneys filed a lawsuit against him, and today here we are finally at 4 o'clock today. Today we're supposed to get two things. The government is to open today, and Congresswoman Adelita Grajava is supposed to be sworn in. So,
Well, I mean, I just look at how things are going, and I'm saying I don't have faith in the Democratic Party. I don't have faith in the Democratic Party. I definitely don't have faith in the Republican Party, because the Republican Party is now the party of MAGA, so they just fall in line. And so I have no faith at all in the Democratic Party. That they it doesn't. I mean, they would have to have a super blue wave. It seems as if they need to be able to have control of everything, and even with that, they still seem not to be able to stand up to Donald Trump. We all knew that he was lying when he was campaigning. He never had a plan. He never had any type of, it was Project 2025. And we're sitting here watching Project 2025 come to life right before our eyes. And the Democratic Party does not seem to have a way to stop him.
hmm. Well, I do believe, as I continue to do my research and I do my best to read literature on a daily to educate myself about the U.S. Senate and what is going on behind the scenes, to have a grand understanding. And what I do believe, and you can say it could be prophetic if you like, that we, the people, will stand up even if the Democratic Party fail us, just as 7 million people took to the streets with no kings. It is going to continue to increase. And we, the people, during this era, as they did in 1933, will stand up and make the changes and force the changes that are needed.
Mm. Wow,
That's
wow.
what's, yes.
Uh, Over 50% of the country voted for Donald Trump.
Yes. And
Yeah,
today he has a 65% below rating. So those same
65%.
yes, so those same 50% of Americans that voted for him are
Hmm.
now saying, "Hey, this is affecting my sister. This is affecting my dad. This is affecting my uncle who's a veteran." Now, you didn't say that this was going to affect us. So he turned his back on his own people. And
Hmm.
even in his latest tweet as of yesterday, he said that the American people are fools.
Mm.
These are his tweets, not
Right.
making it up. He
Hmm.
he he can't remember. I said he can't control his mind, and he can't control his mouth, and he darn sure can't control his fingers. He has to get on True Social or Twitter and proclaim and say how he feels to the American people. Just like the other day, he tweeted in verbatim. I don't remember all of it, but I'm just going to give you the gist of it. There is a declaration of the Supreme Court stating that they do not believe that him inciting the Tariff Act was constitutional. So could this be a part of is there immunity for him for violating the Constitution? Is what the justice has written. He turns around and tweet or type and say, um, it's a security issue, or because you know that the president is only immune to decisions that he make in office if it's a security measure or wartime
Hmm.
decision. So he tweeted that it was a security um, issue about the tariffs.
Okay.
So he's trying to cover himself by using the verbiage of what's in the Constitution because a justice is concerned that what he has done is unconstitutional.
Right. He's done a lot of unconstitutional things.
Exactly, because all he's
Right.
been doing is whacking away with that pen, and
Right.
nobody has stopped him.
Exactly. Exactly. That's my point. Nobody has stopped them. I don't see anyone stopping them. Unless you're right, unless it's the American people. But it won't come from protesting in the streets. A protest in the street can be suppressed. So there'll be no this idea that we can protest in this America wasn't won by protesting in the streets.
Right.
Protesting in the streets, the last time that helped anything in America was the civil rights movement.
Mhm.
That's the last time. Protesting in the streets will not get it done. It just won't. It's not. You can suppress protesters. He's doing that. He's putting laws together to be able to protest. To be able to suppress protesters in the streets. A lot of states, a lot of these red states, totally back him. They totally back Donald Trump about in his ways of suppressing protesters. You can't even really find these protesters online. That's how suppressed they are. So the only way for Donald Trump and this administration and where they're trying to go is going to be what founded this country: a revolution, war.
Well, and I said that yesterday, briefly when I was speaking that we are going to war. It's the inevitable. We are in astrologically, as I study the sky above and below. If you look historically, we are moving into energetically the same time frame when Hitler, Mussolini, during that era, when those things had taken place. The stars were aligned in this almost same position. And as we get closer into 2026, we're leaning more towards that. But also during that time when Hitler and Mussolini and that era was when things were going on, the people stood up and their voice, they were demanding the change. So that definitely will happen. I know it seems kind of odd right now how things are playing out, and you do have some of the Republican Party, just like Marjorie Taylor Greene. In his one of his recent posts, he said that she's lost her way because she's not agreeing with some of the things that he is saying, and there are some other Republican judges that are saying no to him and that are standing their stance and saying, no, yeah, we may be MAGA, but you're pushing it too far.
Hmm. I'm not arguing that there's no resistance within the party, or but it's always an underline with Marjorie Green Taylor. Can I trust her? No.
Right.
No. I believe that there is some type of backstory to her not approving of what Donald Trump is doing, because one of it has to do with Israel,
Hmm.
and another is just simply her own political admirations, where she wanted to go. And maybe he wouldn't sign off on it. Maybe she wanted to run for a senator seat in Georgia, and he told her, stand down, right? You're not the one. Or maybe the governor. Maybe she wanted to run for governor of Georgia. So they all have political ambitions, and they get upset. As far as the judges and the laws, he's been breaking the law. He's been violating the Constitution.
Hmm.
I just don't see that being able to stop what we're looking at. I don't see that being able to stop it. Laws in the Constitution and keep quoting the Constitution. I don't see that. He's headed for a full dictatorship.
I do not see the dictatorship being able to come into fruition. Him attempting to try and continuously to use his pen and authoritative mannerism, yes, he's going to continue to do that. But what I feel is going to stop him is this here. Yeah. Um,
Mm,
yeah. As Adelita Grajava of Arizona will be sworn in today, making her the newest member of the House of Representatives. After her swearing in today at 4 p.m., Grajava is expected to case her vote for the final signature needed on the discharge petition to force such a vote. In turn, this would get the ball rolling before the House can vote on a bill compelling the files to be released. So
mm,
when those files are released, now it has already been said that there were information showing that they were good friends for 10 years and that President Trump was engaging in illicit things with some of the victims.
mm,
So, this is really what the shutdown, in all retrospect, was about: slowing down the process of Congresswoman from Arizona, Adelita Grajava, being sworn in, because she's already said, "You got my vote once I'm sworn in." And that's all that they needed to get this to the floor to get those files.
mm. So let's look at those files. Realistically, do you truly believe that they'll release those files if it's some damaging information in those files about Donald Trump?
No,
Exactly. Right.
no.
No.
But I do believe that the universe has a way, a compelling way, of allowing the truth to be revealed. And I do believe that during Donald Trump's presidency, that he will be truly shown in the true mannerism that he is. And I mean a full-fledged light. So we've already seen the 34 felony convictions. We've already seen the voter him, distracting and doing bad things with the voter registrations, trying to change the mapping, things of that nature. all of that. We've seen where he's imposed tariffs and it's on the American people. We've also seen him blow up the boats in Venezuela.
Well,
So the list happened. Okay, I'm sorry. So the list
mhm.
is long of things that is happening um, around him. Everything is falling apart. And all of the people that support the shenanigans, they too are being exposed for who they really are. And it's not looking good for them. And
Mhm.
that's where I say between now and November of 2026, when it's time for us, the people, to go to the poll, and because we've just had this big blue wave, it's just going to be a big turnaround. It's going to be a huge turnaround of get him out of here. He has to go. Get him out of here.
Well, he's there. He's there until 2028, at least till. So we have at least another 2, 3 years of Donald Trump to consolidate his power, to move pieces in position to where he want them to be. So by the time the election comes, there'll be enough. Even if the Epstein files revealed something, or even if people wanted him out today or tomorrow, you still have JD Vance behind him. You still have Republicans who have a because it's not really about Donald Trump. It's about the ideology,
Hmm.
right? They all share the same ideology. So it's not really about Donald Trump. Anybody can sit in the seat as long as they believe in the ideology and to push the agenda.
Right.
And they're all willing to push the agenda, which is, we believe that it is our destiny that white men control America and
Mhm.
white people control America. So Donald Trump is just a face. The ideology is there, and
Yes.
that's what they're pushing for.
And that's scary. That's scary.
Yeah,
I am so sorry. Like
right.
nobody calls until I get on here, and I don't know how to stop it.
At some point, people just got to be willing to fight. Sit.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. At some point, people just have to be willing to fight. People have to be willing to stand their ground. America wasn't founded by being coward.
Hmm.
You're not going to save America by being cowards. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen by democratic means. We're not voting this away. We voted it in for
Yes.
years.
Yes. And I just want to say to people, if you like the content, please like it, share, and comment. Someone just commented, so I'm just responding. But
Hmm.
yes, I do definitely agree with you. We have until 2028. His agenda is to show that he is the authoritative person in charge. He is forgetting about the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court too is Republican, as we can see, Ketanji, well, we'll just say Justice Jackson, her her order of stay for the full payment of SNAP benefits has been upheld
Hmm.
until they didn't say when. So he doesn't have to pay the full amount of SNAP benefits at this time because when she ordered the stay, it is now the hearing was held today and it is in effect until further notice. But the justices who reviewed her decision didn't give a reason as to why they said the order is to stay because she only ordered a temporary stay.
Mhm.
And
So
so
the,
now they're upholding that stay without a rebuttal to it.
so with the shutdown being over though, it'll be that was part of the agreement that they came to. So the SNAP benefits are protected at least until 2026. So with the shutdown being over, those funds will be being released. Maybe they'll be short this month for November, but they'll be back getting their full benefits for the next month. So I mean, the SNAP benefits are pretty much safe.
So, do you feel that well, we'll say recipients because not everyone that receive who are eligible for benefits are Americans. So we'll just say the individuals recipients who receive the SNAP benefits. Do you feel that there should be a tweaking of who receives these benefits?
I think anybody who applies and meet the criteria that they need to meet right now should receive benefits.
Right,
These benefits, I think, uh, $26 a month or a year or whatever. Actually, the taxpayers pay for this. It's
right.
not. It for me. Food stamps is not a big deal. SNAP benefits is not a big deal. It's not hurting the taxpayer. It's just not. No
Right.
matter, some people say, well, my money is my money. You're going to pay taxes regardless. There is
Mhm.
no specific tax coming out of your taxes for SNAP benefits. It's going to federal taxes. And yes, it may raise your federal tax some, but it's a whole lot of other things that your federal taxes are paying for. Mine's, yours, or whoever else's. So I don't see any tweaking needed. People are hungry, feed them.
I agree with that, but I've seen a lot of content creators and a lot of black men who, one in particular that I do remember saying that he was glad that the SNAP benefits were cut off so that women could get up and go to work and they wouldn't be so objective to leave Tyrone now. And I'm
Mhm.
like, really? Did you see that one?
Yes, I did. I did.
What
Well,
did you make of
ignorance. Yeah,
what
ignorance
did
is
you make of
ignorance.
that?
Just somebody. This we live in a place where I want to get 100,000 views. I want to get. I want to become internet famous. And when you want to become internet famous, you say things like that. That'll get you because you have, especially if you're a black man, because you're speaking towards black women. Everybody knows how to become famous on the internet. Talk about black women, talk about black people in a negative way, and you'll get the support. You'll become internet famous. So when I see black men saying things like that, I just swipe on by. I don't take them serious.
But
No,
I've heard a lot of black men who feel that black women in particular who receive some type of benefit or assistance like Section 8 housing or SNAP or Medicaid, that they are lazy and that they
Mhm.
shouldn't receive these type of benefits. But a lot of these women are working mothers that have multiple children and the father may be absent or incarcerated or could possibly even be deceased and need some type of assistance. So should the government um, not give her food stamps
Mm.
because she have we'll just say take an African American woman who has 5 children. We'll just use that as a stereotype. And she works at Walmart. So she would possibly be in that income bracket to receive food assistance and possibly housing assistant because you're not making that much at Walmart, but she's putting forth the effort. She's getting up every day, she's setting the example, she's going to work, she may drive a secondhand car, her kids go to the neighborhood school, and she's doing it on her own. So should she not receive Medicaid, food stamps, Section 8 housing? She's a working mother
Mhm.
who does,
Go
yeah,
ahead. Go ahead. Finish what you were saying.
no, because she doesn't make enough. She's not making $85,000 a year to
Mhm.
raise five children alone. So even the assistance that she would get for the affordable housing and for the Medicaid and for the SNAP benefits still may not be enough.
Right. I don't take black men like that serious. And let me tell you why.
Okay.
There are black men who get food stamps. There are black men who get assistance. There are black men on Section 8. So if you are a man and you're not addressing the black men that get SNAP benefits, you're not addressing the black men who get assistance who are on Section 8, why would I take you serious? You're a
Mhm.
man. If you want to talk about somebody getting up and going out to work and who's able, as a man, I'm going to address men first. I'm
Mhm.
not going to get on the internet and talk about women, 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 women. I'm going to address men, right? So I can't take a man that's talking about, these black women getting assistance serious if you're not discussing it, if you're not talking about black men getting assistance.
Mm.
Furthermore, it doesn't even make sense. The price of living in America is high. I think a lot of people ignore that because you're doing well. You're doing well, so you ignore the fact that a one-bedroom apartment costs over $1,500 a month, and
Mhm.
people are only making $13 an hour. And you still got to think about food, gas, any type of transportation, right? You have to think about any type of utility services and the
Mhm.
day to day and your day to day. So most people do not make enough money in the United States of America to survive. The question is not how many people are on food stamps, it's why are so many people on food stamps? It's not because everybody is lazy and don't want to work. It's also about jobs that don't want to pay.
Mm.
It's real simple. And so as a person, I would much rather help this woman who has two or three kids. And let me tell you why. It's not just about that woman. She has three kids. If these kids got to go out in the streets because they're hungry, what happens? The crime rate goes up. Now we
Exactly.
got two to three more criminals because out of three of those kids, two of them might go to gangs, right? So you want to try to, that's a way to build up the family.
Right.
We worrying about the wrong things.
Exactly. That is a huge valid point that you just made, because we have so many of our men, and I'm just going to speak about the statistic of our men and women who are incarcerated, all because they are or have done committed a crime to feed their family or to do something that they know that they shouldn't have done, to be able to make that happen for them, to make
Mhm.
what they thought was making life a little bit easier, but really they ultimately making it harder. So now they're a product of the system, which I feel, in just my opinion, prison is another form of slavery. Oppression and poverty is another form of slavery, not just for the brown people, but for all people who are in that income bracket, because that's just what it is. It's another form of oppression. Let me keep you oppressed, begging in the system. You'll never get any higher. If you do, you got to work extremely hard. I'm not saying that you can't get there, but it's so many barriers and so many hurdles to overcome that some people just give up and don't have the will to even work that Walmart job or even work at McDonald's, because they're like, what's the point? I'm not going to bring home enough money to take care of my lights, my water, or buy me a pair of decent shoes or feed my child. So I might as well do something that's not of ethics. And
Mhm.
that's just where we at. And if the government doesn't do what they should be doing for the American people, or just the people that live in America, because not everybody Americans, we're going to have a crisis on our hand, even for those that are going to stand up and fight back in a positive manner. We're going to have people who are going to be breaking in people's houses, attacking people, robbing people. The crime rate is going to elevate
Mm.
because of all of these oppressive things that are being implemented for people who don't know or can't see a way out.
Right. I don't want to I don't want to give any type of excuses for crime, but that's a reality, right? People are more willing to take a risk when they're hungry or they're facing homelessness. It's always other ways to do things, but it is very tempting when you struggling. And we know majority majority of America is struggling. People get on the internet, people talk. If if you were doing so well, you wouldn't have time to be trying to be social media famous. You on here trying to make money on the internet. So that tells me you might not be doing that well. People who are making um people who are making 60. All right, so a two family household,
Mhm.
a husband and a wife, to live basic, you have to be bringing in over 100,000 a year combined to
Yeah.
live basic, and
Yeah.
that's basic.
Mhm.
Basically, y'all paycheck to paycheck, right? Now, it
Mhm.
was a time in America, a two family household, $100,000 a year, that was the middle class.
Right.
There is no more middle class. You
Right.
either are upper middle class now, which would put you in about a 260 to $300,000 a year,
Mhm.
or you're poor.
Mhm.
Now, whether you want to admit that or not, because see, a lot of people don't want to admit you poor. You're poor. Yeah,
Did you have to say it like that?
absolutely, because that's the only way people. That's the only
Thanks.
way they do. You're poor.
Well,
You
thanks for
miss.
the reality check.
Sometimes we need that. You miss one paycheck, you might have a notice on your door.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they get on the internet and start talking about how, yeah, I seen a guy dancing in the supermarket, no snap, the line's so short and all of this and all of that. Bruh, you're shopping in Walmart. You getting deals. You came in there to get you some deals. You're not doing that well.
Wow.
It's
This content creation thing has gone overboard.
that's
Okay. Before they even called it content creation, I started doing this in 2015, just getting online and expressing my views, right? Daily. That's how long I've been doing it. So it's about 10 years.
mhm,
And during the pandemic, they started to call it content creator. And then they started giving you money for
monetizing
doing
it.
things. And so people just started to get wild and absurd with their
Content
posts.
creation.
Yes.
Right.
And so I just say I'm a creator. I don't get into the content thing. And when I do this, as far as the podcasting, I do it because I love it.
Mhm.
I do it because this is something that I love to do. I'm not doing it to become famous, which I know it's a line for me too, but I'm doing it. You have to put the work in for it to happen, but I'm not anticipating anything. I've gone viral on my TikTok twice, maybe three times, and I wasn't expecting it then. So, for those that are doing it for the likes, the numbers, you know, maybe your 15 minutes of fame will run out. I don't know, but
Yeah.
I know why I do it because it's something that is in my heart and I'm passionate about it. But kind of like getting off the topic, but
Right.
Uh, I just know that in the world today, when we're talking about real issues and real people, people have lost sense of reality due to social media. They've lost touch with themselves. If I feel like we're living in a time warp
Mm,
where everything is just the world that we live in today, from the president, from the people at the grocery store, the people that you meet maybe at a gas station, everyone is detached. There's no more, everybody is just in their own portal. And I, I don't know how this world will be 10 years from now. It's almost scary to feel to be existent, you know,
mm.
because of the way things are going.
It almost looks like it'll be controlled by AI, robots, right? Because if you ask me, if I'm
Mhm.
looking at humanity, I'm saying that we are digressing.
Yes.
That's what I see. I see humanity digressing. Our
Mhm.
children don't even know how to write in cursive. They don't know how to sign their names. Like that is important, but
That's
it don't matter anymore. The truth is not important anymore, right? Nobody has to tell the truth anymore. All I gotta do is get people to believe me. Or uh people get on the internet and actually make the claim that this celebrity died. It'll get 100,000 views before somebody stop and say no, they didn't.
right.
Like that's where we're at now. So
And
it appears
I see the same thing with birthdays. They'll say happy birthday to Tony Braxton, and it's not even her birthday.
right.
And I'm like,
So
really?
right.
And me, I do my best to be a fact checker. So I go, Wikipedia is an is and a was. So if I see that they is an American actor, I know that they're still alive. If it
Mhm.
say they was, and then I know that
Right.
they're gone. So
Exactly.
I'm quick to look and see, but a lot of people who, and literacy is very important. I grew up in a home where my parents were illiterate. So I know the very importance of literacy and teaching our children what is, was, what, and were, and is. There and there is. They don't know.
Mhm.
And you can tell when these people post and they get on social media, it's all about the views, it's all about the likes, it's all about the vanity. And everyone has lost sight of reality.
Mm.
Just like when I see people talking about politics and talking about what's going on in today's political sense, they're only in verbatim speaking on what they heard,
Mhm.
not what they actually sat and read an article. To be
Mhm.
able to articulate what they've read when they get on their live, and they're all opinionated based conversations, not something that they've actually read and then dissect what they've read and chop it up and then conversate about it. So are they cheating the people that are their followers? Yes. Because now at this point, you're giving out misinformation.
Mm. Yeah, I personally don't take politics serious.
No,
And that's
it's a
that's
big
just
circus act.
that's just based off of reality and research.
Right.
When this, if you research the history of the United States of America, how could you take politics serious, especially if you black? It really don't make. I mean, but I let people believe what they want to believe.
Mhm.
You believe in a democracy, great. If you believe in a democracy, especially a black person, if you out here and you're black and you're talking about democracy, my only question to you would be this: how could systemic racism and democracy exist at the same time? It can't.
No.
But okay, if you believe in a democracy, go ahead. Where has it gotten us? Our schools are the worst school systems. Our children are dying in the streets.
Mhm.
We still being called savages, low IQ. It's the
Mhm.
same talk that they talk. The same thing they said about us in the 1800s, they say about us right now. So, but if
Exactly.
you believe in democracy and the political process, and you need to get out there to the polls because people voted for a right to die, I mean, die for our right to vote, by all means, please do.
Do you
Follow
vote?
it. I
Do
do
you?
not. I don't
You
vote.
don't?
No, I don't vote at all.
No, really?
No, no. And I'm willing to debate anybody about it. I'm willing to debate anybody about voting as a black man in the United States of America. If we had political power, whereas if we had a um a political party that represented black people's interests, if not just black faces in Washington who talk, if we had a political party that represented black interests, I would vote. But to vote independent doesn't make sense. And I wouldn't vote in Democratic or the Republican Party. Neither one of them has black people's interests at heart. So why would I vote?
So, oh, that's a whole nother show.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, I can't even elaborate on that right now because it would take us into a whole nother sector.
Mm,
But yeah, that's interesting. I didn't know
nah.
that you didn't vote. I vote. I vote because when I voice my concerns about something, whether I win, whether if the party that I voted for win or not, I know that I was there. So I feel that I can say and dig my heels and take my stance on it pretty much.
Mm,
So I didn't vote in the special election that we just had, but when we do have the primaries, I do.
I don't, like I just said, I don't knock anybody for voting. I won't discourage anybody from voting. I just ask a simple question to black people who vote.
Okay.
Democracy, systemic racism. How do they exist at the same time?
And they can't. It-
Exactly.
but
So if we're dealing with systemic racism, then black people in America do not have a democracy. So while we're focusing on fixing America, we're focusing on being Americans and doing what's right by America. When will we focus on our own community? If we put all that energy into fixing our community, not voting Democrat, the Democrats don't care about black people. They care about their party. They care about their party, keeping their party going. So when it's time to vote, hey, black people, you need to vote for us because we're trying to get these programs. We don't need the government to give us programs. We need our own community to come together and create for ourselves so that we can gain political part. We can gain political power, and then we can have a political voice in America. We don't. So voting is just you're giving your power to somebody, but who you giving it to?
mm. And it's hard to, I agree with you on that. It's hard to get the black community together because we're still in, of course, a lot of us still have the one up slave mentality and so much of looking at the other person instead of the togetherness. So
Mm,
until we can get rid of the Willie Lynch disease, then we can work on the togetherness and then build a community that's solid, that's unbreakable and unchangeable. And then we can create our own party. But until then, we have what we have.
that's see, that's the mentality. But that's the mentality that keeps us in from not coming together. We have what we have. Like we have or settling for what we have. Like we have the same people. It's just a matter of sitting back and looking. The Voters' Rights Act was 1965,
Right.
right?
Yes.
So we've been voting. We've been voting. And our community is still gotten worse.
Yes.
And
Yes.
we still have black leaders who say we need to vote. We need to get out here and vote. Our communities are getting worse. Make that make sense.
Right.
It doesn't make sense. Something's wrong.
I agree. I definitely agree with you on that. Well, we're going to talk about this voting thing on another day.
Yeah, we can get into it.
Yes, for sure. Make sure, tell everybody where they can find you at and about politics as usual. And tell
Ah,
us a little bit, how did the show go yesterday?
the show was, in my opinion, it bombed. That's my opinion. It wasn't a good show for me. It wasn't up to my standards. But
Okay.
I learned in an hour. So I learned a lot in 1 hour.
Okay.
Um, Anybody that knows me know I don't digress, I progress.
Of course.
So if that was the first show, by the next time, or it'll get better. So I'm not discouraged. It wasn't. I just, I was prepared. Had my talk. Well, I think I just did a little too much talking and not enough breaks in between. It's just a new platform, so it'll get better.
Oh, yeah. As we learn here on this platform that we've created, we learn as we go, and it's everything is a learning process.
Yeah,
And as I posted this morning on my um, social media post, I said we must speak positive things to ourselves because we're also our worst critic as well.
absolutely.
So, yes. So I know you did a great job, and I didn't get a chance to check you out, but I will next Tuesday. I won't do anything next Tuesday. So I'm going to make my days Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday so I can chime in and listen to you on Tuesday.
Okay,
I
that'll be great.
decided that on yesterday.
That'll be great.
Yes. And so I just want to say thank you, and we'll resume back here on Friday. And I
Yes.
wish you all, thank you all for watching. And make sure you check out Justice for Ty on TikTok. Is that correct?
Justice for Taj on TikTok and politics as usual. 101.3
Post,
post
yeah, Post
Tuesday 10 to 11.
101.3.
Yep.
Yes. Make sure you guys download the app for Pulse 101.3. And Jamar is on there on Tuesdays from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. every Tuesday morning. And
Yep.
until the next time, drink your water and mind your business.
Have a good day.
You too. Thank you. Bye bye.